Good evening and welcome to Scioto, Illinois, as we bring you West Prairie volleyball action here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Glad you are alongside for Cyclones action, joined by the young one, my broadcast partner, Mr. John Burton. Glad you are here with me again this evening. Always fun when we get to work together. We like to have fun together.
That is for sure.
And tonight, senior night here. As always, important to take things home on your senior night. And the Cyclones take on the Elmwood Trojans here this evening. And glad you're alongside. And again, TSSR Game Time Live, presented by JoJo's Gaming Parlor, offering the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game night, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events, live on the big screen. Join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Cheer our area teams on to victory. Starting for the Cyclones tonight, it will be Jersey Brown, the libero, stepping on. Janie Phelps to serve, along with Lindsey Dunn, Annika Clark. Also Taylor Richardson and Ava Beck. Serve comes across, and that one, Taylor Richardson saying, "Thou hath not deposited, thou shalt not get a return." Lauren Rushing picked that up for the Trojans. Serve is a low-line drive. Rushing back to the net again. Under it, bandage up an ace for Phelps once again. So Phelps back to serve it again here. Serving nice hard line drives, picking on Rushing once again. Bringing it up is Marincic. And then hitting it into the net was Mercer. So it is 3-0 at West Prairie. And I noticed that one of these scoreboards is out, so we'll have to try to stay kind of over this way. And speaking of scoreboard, someone else forgot to do something. Tip across. Cyclones play it. Phelps up to Beck, who drops it into the backcourt. Picked up there by La Follette. Knocked across by Mercer. Back up to Phelps. Loads it to the outside to Beck. Back row. La Follette is there. Helped out there by Conklin. Hit into the net. And that makes it a 4-0 lead for West Prairie, he said, as he realized he forgot to add the score up. It is 4-0 West Prairie, and another kind of muff on that. Hurst not able to handle it. 5-0 here, served by Phelps, deep back row. Hurst going to pop it sideways. Mercer brings it back. Hurst will bump it through. A little short. Richardson's right there. Phelps back set to Clark, back row, a little too long and out of bounds. That gets the Trojans on the board at 5-1. Their side out there. And no, it is not West Prairie versus Farmington. I actually did not get that part edited too. Mercer will serve it. Popped off of Dunn. Brown going to help it out. Beck going to bump it over. And Hurst has it. Back set to the net, tapped across, and Cyclones keep it up. Phelps dribbles it across, and they're going to say out of bounds, but a nice job, John. The old making something out of nothing thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you see, West Prairie jumped out to an early lead here. Elmwood, I believe, is the team that we were playing. Not sure, didn't check it. Yeah, Elmwood just hasn't been able to get anything going there for the first couple of serves, but now that they have the ball and they are serving, they're starting to put some points on the board and giving West Prairie a run for their money.
And as we always talk about, mistakes seem to roll together. Mercer off of Dunn in the left back corner. Set up for Beck, and she'll hammer it past Hurst to make it 6-3. I will apologize for my voice tonight, folks. I am coaching 5th and 6th grade basketball now, so now I have coach voice pretty much whenever I talk. Ava Beck brings it across, and serve picked up there by Marincic. And now Brown with it. Back to Lindsey Dunn. Lobs it over, taken in the back row, thereby Rushing. Mercer going to set it out. Pounded and out of bounds by Marincic. I'll say it the same way twice once. Marincic. 7-3 now. West Prairie in the advantage over the Elmwood Trojans. Served by Beck, long into the back row. Rushing going to pop it high, and communication error as both Conklin and Marincic just kind of looked at each other and said, eh. 8-3 now, West Prairie. Ava Beck booms it back row off the arms of Conklin and back, and that makes it 9-3 West Prairie. Beck ready to let it go again. Pounds it across. Popped high into the middle. Mercer is there. She'll back set it. Punched across there by Conklin. And West Prairie plays it. Phelps set up for Beck. Hits it into the net. And then learn a side out back over for Elmwood. And John, you can see here when Elmwood's taken their time and been patient, they've done really well. When they've kind of gotten in a hurry, that's when it's caused problems.
Yeah, and so far Elmwood has had some trouble returning the serves of West Prairie, and that just goes to what you speak about right there as we see another communication error by Elmwood, resulting in a drop ball. But yeah, so far Elmwood's been having some trouble returning the serves, and if you don't return the serve, you can't get any points.
Jersey Brown serves it for West Prairie on the side out. Serve into the middle of Conklin, and Mercer can't make much out of that. Flips it into the net. It is 11 for West Prairie. Serve by Brown. Take it in the middle. Going to be bumped forward by Wagner. Tapped across. Beck has it. Phelps gets it out of the net to right. Tips it off the block with a kiss and puts it in for a 12-4 advantage. We've got our first stoppage of play here. We'll stop aside for just a moment. Thank our fine sponsors on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
And back to action here as Brown serves it. Comes right back on the return. Phelps to right, off the blocks. Mercer going to send it high. Needs a little help. Then bumped through there by Hurst. Set up Veronica Clark and tapped into the back row. Flipped across by Conklin. Dunn's there. Phelps sends it back. Mercer is there. They're going to set her in the back row. Kind of falling backwards. Brought it over to Brown. Phelps sets it up for Beck. That one off the blocks and out of bounds. That will be 13-4. And I knew that was going to happen, folks, and I will apologize for you getting to hear me sneeze. This is live streaming. Brown drops one in front of, I believe that's Conklin. Actually, it is Hurst. Drops in front of Zoe Hurst and makes it 14-4 West Prairie. Jersey Brown eyes it again. Drops over, and that one hammered over into the bleachers by Rushing. That ball was rushing right over to the bleachers. 15-4 serve. Tapped to the front. Mercer now flipped across. Brown with a save, but couldn't control it. So big side out there for the Trojans of Elmwood. Subbing in will be La Follette. She'll replace Hurst. Coming back to serve is Conklin. CC Conklin will let fly with it. Into the middle. Ava Beck brings it up to Phelps. Jump set to right. Mercer's there. They bring it in the back row. Bumped through by Herman. Right again. Coming back to her. She'll flip and dug up there by Marincic. And tapped into that. That one stuffed by right. Clark going to flip it back across and load it up on the outside. Now that one hit high deep and sidely unplayable by Marincic. Or sidily if you had to use proper English. I wouldn't have said it actually, I guess, if I used proper English, John, but I am known to moiter the Queen's English. Serve by Kitch, right in between two Trojans. Almost acted like they saw a Trojan horse. for all you history buffs in the audience. Sorry, can't help myself sometimes. Serve by Kitch again, booming into the back row. That is picked up by Conklin, tipped across by Rushing. And now Phelps loads it up for West Prairie to Dunn, tips and caught him. Lindsey Dunn once again done it. And makes it 18-5. Kitch, low line drive, popped high in the air, tipped over by Mercer. Nobody home for the Cyclones in the back row. And that'll earn the Trojans a side out. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your home on Friday as an option. You can receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All this for only $42 per year, $38 per year for 65 or older. Single copies can be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonville. Another timeout called by the Trojans as the Cyclones now up by a score of 20-5. And I guess that one, John, that I thought they called out or in was actually out.
Yes, it was.
And so once again, the Cyclones running away here. This West Prairie game stream made possible by McDonough Telephone's fiber internet. McDonough Telephone offers lightning fast and reliable fiber internet, video, phone, and camera systems in the McDonough County area. Call 309-776-3211 to check your availability. Talk to Daphne or Evan today at Tom Conklin State Farm in Macomb for surprisingly great rates. Call them at 8309-837-1200 or stop and see them at 1221 West Jackson Street in Macomb. You can get the Greg Phelps rate.
Is that so?
It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes, you know. It's all the same, folks. There is no special rate for me, trust me. Paige Kitch once again will serve it short. Tips across the net. Nice save by Elmwood. That was Conklin that brought it back. But as Wright said, thou hath not deposited, thou shalt not get a return. Volleyball is quite biblical, in case you didn't know. Served by Paige Kitch. Into the back row, popped up front. They're going to load it for Rushing in the middle. She'll lob it over. Brown had a little trouble with it. And it drops in, makes it 21-6. West Prairie in the advantage. And I'm guessing, John, it must be white night. I see all of that big white bunch you see in the corner. The West Prairie students. Beck receives a serve. Phelps going to load her back up, and she just gets it on the run and hits it off of Herman. Tip to the outside. That'll be Mercer, and we've got a net violation. Phelps or Wright getting caught with their hands in the net jar. And serving again is Conklin. She'll let it go. Beck going to pop it backwards. Brown going to help it out. And now Beck going to bump it over. Deep back row. Running to it is Conklin. Tipped across. And we have a lift whistled on Marinsick. Must have been the way the hair flew.
They say it looks like she's just trying to get anything to drop in there and get Elmwood back on track, but just got a little over-exaggerated on that one. She gets called for the lift.
And that's served by Lindsey Dunn into the net. Right now it is 22-8. West Prairie in the advantage. Serve into the back row. Taken off of Dunn. Phelps to the outside up to Beck, who pounds it into the net. And that'll cut the deficit to 22-9. As Madison Richmond in the back row for West Prairie up to Wright. Wright going to drop it over. Nice job. Mercer flips it across. Dunn keeps it alive. Phelps sets it up. Beck had to back up. Cross courts it. Rushing hits it over the head of La Follette. And it makes it 23-9. Drop in. West Prairie taking the advantage here as Kelly Wright brings it across. Rushing, going to bring it up to the middle. Mercer helps it through. Nobody home in that back row for the Cyclones. And that's one of those, I guess you get lulled into a false sense of security, John. they'd been struggling to get it back, and they just kind of forgot about, oops, they will get it back.
And we have seen that a few times here from Elmwood, hitting it in about that same exact spot as we see that one going way out of bounds. They're just finding the soft spot in the back row of the Cyclone defense and just putting it right where they aren't.
Richardson clobbered that one. Now Elmwood serves again. Beck to the outside from Phelps, and she's going to hit that one past La Follette and down. So it'll make it game point here, 24-11. And now Natalie Moore will check in. Madison Richmond will go out for West Prairie. Janie Phelps with a chance to send it home. Mercer pops it up. La Follette tries to help and can't do it. And that is a game winner. That gives it to the Cyclones. They go up 1-0 in this set. So that's going to mean we need to take a commercial timeout. We'll be back with game number 2 in just a moment. You are listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
I chose physical therapy because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. I wanted to be able to help patients in some way related to more in depth. We get to know our patients, and that's really what kind of sets us apart.
And there we are. Let us illuminate. Yeah. Well, that's again what happens when the old guy forgets to do certain things. I mean, that's definitely what happens when that comes along here. And it is known to happen very frequently from time to time, as the old guy's a little bit forgetful. Here we are for game number 2 and on senior night, and always, John, always a fun thing to make sure that you pick up the win on senior night. You know, just because you definitely want to, you know, send the seniors out on a great night, or you always hope that you do anyway.
Yeah, and West Prairie definitely has a good group of senior girls this year. I know that a lot of them have definitely been teaching the younger kids all of what they know, and they will be dearly missed by this West Prairie volleyball team, I'm sure.
And look at that. The right team is on the screen now. That the old guy did a computer thing, John. That's just amazing.
Impressive.
United Community Bank services are designed to keep you in the game when you are on the go. With online and mobile banking that's nothing but net, to friendly services you can count on from the leader of the community banking. Choosing UCB is always a slam dunk. Visit a location near you with branches in Bushnell, Colchester, 2 in Macomb. UCB is member FDIC. Let's get the starting lineups for the 2 teams out for the West Prairie Cyclones. Taylor Richardson, Janie Phelps, Jersey Brown, Ava Beck, also Natalie Moore and Lindsay Dunn. And we'll get Elmwood as we go. Beck receives the serve. Phelps going to load her up on the outside, drops it in and good. Diving for that was Lauren Rushing. She is joined there by Mahala Mercer. Also joining them, Brianna Herman, Macy Marincic. And that serve off of Rushing, popped high in the air. Mercer's going to help it out. She'll bring it over to her teammate Herman, off of the arms of Brown. And the score is now 1-1. West Prairie outnumbering Elmwood 1-1. Slap dribbling at it is Herman. She'll bring it across off of Beck. Phelps sends it high, and Moore and Dunn could not decide who was going to get it. Just couldn't seem to decide who was going to get it. 2-1 Elmwood in the lead. Serve off of Dunn, and not able to get it out of the net. And this is one of those things, John, it's really good to get everybody into the match, but sometimes can create just a little bit of confusion with new pieces.
Yeah, and as we see, as Elmwood has taken an early lead, very similar to how West Prairie took an early lead in the first set, as that one is going to be mishandled in the back row. So maybe here with Elmwood with this lead, they'll get a little confidence building, and maybe that can result in them snowballing and building off of their performance in the first set.
3-2, Elmwood is in the advantage as Ava Beck goes back to serve. Low line drive off of the arms of Rushing. Bandage up an ace for Ava Beck. And the ball went through the, not sure exactly what to call it, the curtain.
Yeah, it looks like they got some streamers or something hung up on the door. It's really amazing how the ball always seems to find the door and go through it in these volleyball games.
La Follette brings it up, tapped over by Mercer, now played by West Prairie. It is going to be Brown. Phelps load up to Richardson, off the blocks, down and good with the kiss. And makes it a 4-3 advantage West Prairie as they jump into the lead for the first time. Ava Beck will load it up again, ready to send it across. Her serve into the back row. Rushing is high in the air with it. Sent across by Marincic. Set up actually for Mercer. Nice shot by Mercer, who puts it down to earn in a 4-4 tie for the Cyclones and the Trojans. Serving for the Trojans, CC Conklin. Brings it out of the middle of the free throw lane, loads it to Dunn. To Phelps, back set it for Richardson. Brought up in the back row by Conklin. Helped out there by Marincic. Tapped across by Rushing, and West Prairie loads. Set up for Richardson, and she mistimed the jump a little bit. Came down and makes it 5-4 as Elmwood back into the advantage. Serving is Conklin once again. Conklin loads it, brings it off of Dunn. Up to Phelps. She'll load it back for Dunn. Hits it into the back row. Popped up there by Herman. They'll set it for Mercer. She'll get a good hit on it. Brown up with it. Dunn from Phelps. Back row off of the arms of Conklin. And they usually call those out off the backboard. It is out of play.
This isn't basketball, it's a volleyball game, Greg.
That's right. You do not score two. Served by Jersey Brown, taken by Rushing, back to the net. Wright says, nuh-uh. And she did. I actually heard that, nuh-uh. As she slapped it back down, 6-5. 1 point lead now for the Cyclones. They took the first game. Served by Brown. Mercer is there. Helmed out by Marincic, back to Mercer. Man, she smoked it out of there. Phelps going to bring it back. Kept alive by Herman. Nice save by her. And now West Prairie plays it. Brown for Beck. Hits it into the net. Kept. Oh, they're going to say did not get across in the recommended daily allowance of 3 hits. So we're even at 6 apiece. Valhalla Mercer brings it through. Serve up, and Moore just going to drop it over and in. It does not have to be hard to be effective. As Moore brought that in, and now Paige Kitch will come in to serve for her. 7-6 West Prairie lead in game 2. Best 2 out of 3 falls. Serve by Kitch. Low line drive. Conklin over to the bench. And racks up an 8-6 advantage for West Prairie. Good Hope Gardens, located at 445 East Main Street, Good Hope, just east of the North Elementary School. Open April through October, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for all your fresh produce needs. Conklin trouble with another one. Now stop by and see the folks at Good Hope Gardens. Know they have a great variety of pumpkins out now. See their Facebook page for daily updates. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's growing. Served by Paige Kitch. In the middle off Herman. Mercer going to set it to the outside. Marincic block. Rushing bumps it over, and Beck says, nope, that's out. 10-6 advantage for West Prairie. As Kitch will load it up again. Eyes it, flies it, and Conklin, a little trouble with it, pounds it into the floor. And that's one thing, Paige Kitch awfully good with that serve. Serves kind of what I'd call a heavy ball. Doesn't hit cleanly. Serve off of Herman. And another ace for Paige Kitch. That's going to usher us into our first timeout of Game 2. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
And we're back here. Drew Schneider sending his charges out on the court. Paige Kitch will back again to let it fly here. Serve just across the net, and that one, Marincic could not get it. And it makes it 13-6. Once again, the Cyclones starting to stretch things as they make it 13-6. Paige Kitch serves it into the back row. Marincic. Mercer pounds it off the ceiling. Herman tried to get it across, and that one tipped the top of the net. Phelps wasn't quite ready for it. And now serving with it is Lauren Rushing for the Trojans. Her serve, high, deep floater. Dunn takes it on the right-hand side. Phelps going to set, fake to the middle, tipped by Beck. And that's one of those that just kind of goes, wee, wee, wee. Beck had the right idea, but just a little soft. Or as Bob Euchre used to say, just a little outside. Lauren Rushing to Kitch. And now set up for Beck. She'll pound it through, but out of bounds. And West Prairie getting a little bit of the yips here. Serve by Rushing, deep back row. She's really pounded it deep on him. Phelps going to set it up for Dunn, brings it across. Mercer's underneath it. LaFollette brings it back for the back row attack by Mercer. Kitch up with it to Phelps, outside to Dunn, taps it across, and out of bounds.
We see as Elmwood is charging back into this game, all it takes is one mistake, and that can snowball into disaster, as we're seeing here for West Prairie, as the score has narrowed to only a lead of 3. See if they can get back on track here.
And bumped across by LaFollette for Elmwood. Phelps flips it through. LaFollette from Mercer, back to Mercer, back row attack, and she'll spike that one into the net. You are quite prophetic, young man. That was...
I try to be, Greg.
Madison Richmond in, Paige Kitch out for West Prairie, getting some of the younger ladies in. Serve by Dunn, picked up and sent right back across by Herman. Tipped up, and they'll bring it to Beck, who will hit it into the net and make it 14-11. And it's those things that just the little volleyball is so momentum-based. It's just the littlest thing can tip it off. LaFollette pounds that one, and it goes high, deep, and generally unplayable. Jersey Brown out. Taylor Richardson in. As Callie Wright ready to send it on the way. Wright, short shot. Rushing able to get it her knees. Mercer just flips it over, the old PE punch shot. Dunn to Richmond. Richardson has it over, and Mercer's got it. Marincic hit across by Conklin, helped out from Richmond to Wright. Dunn sends it through, and they'll continue to work with it. Outside it is Herman, tips it, but out of bounds. Had the right idea, but just happened to hit it out of bounds. 16-11, West Prairie in the advantage here. And hey, while all of those are you listening, or something like that, let us know where you're listening from here on our chat feature. And that one, Conklin having a little trouble tipping it over, makes it 17-11. The official giving their coach the eye, as Janelle Myers See if she wants a timeout. Right, nice, hard serve. Marinsick to Mercer. High in the air, Marinsick across with it. Right, hit it backwards. Richmond helps it out. And Phelps takes it and sends it over. La Follette bumps it up to Herman to send across. And now Beck will pound it back through, rushing. And once again, couldn't decide who was going to get it. Kind of those, it's yours, it's mine, it's nobody's. 18-11 West Prairie here in game number 2. Kelly Wright, high in the air, off rushing. Mercer going to help it to her. Herman lobs it over, and Richmond bumps it up. Phelps outside for Beck, deep back row, and a little bit too long. Tried to paint the corner, but ended up with a Jackson Pollock. There's an art reference you won't get anywhere else. 18-12, serve over by Elmwood. Phelps going to load it up for Beck off of the hands of Herman, I believe, in 19-12. Side out right back over to West Prairie. Annika Clark in, Madison Richmond out. Phelps will serve for West Prairie. Phelps unloads one off of La Follette. I got to give her credit. That's one of the hardest ones I've seen her unleash. Usually she does things like that when she's mad at me, her father. That's going to usher us into a timeout. Need to thank our very fine sponsors, including thank you for voting McDonough District Hospital Rehabilitation Center as best of the best in McDonough County. Let their experienced and dedicated sports medicine and rehabilitation staff show you why MDH has been voted best of the best in 2017, 18, 19, and again in 20. 3 convenient locations to serve you in 2 in Macomb, 1 in Bushnell. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events. Live on the big screen. Come join your friends at JoJo's located at 776 North Cole Street, Bushnell. Cheer our area teams on to victory. And again, chime in with us. Tell us where you're listening to us from. Love to hear from you. Serve is off of Rushing. They bring it outside to Mercer, off of the hands of Clark or Richardson, and down. So side out back over to Elmwood. Herman serves it now for Elmwood. Serve out of bounds and right back over to West Prairie. Cyclones get it back here. Serve by Ava Beck. Short. Herman's got it, but that one going to go into the net. Mercer not going to get it out. So 22-13 now the score as Ava Beck tries to finish things off. Beck serves it low, swing, and a miss by Conklin. It is 23-13. Or if you use correct baseball term, swung on and missed. As Beck eyes it, flies it, and Rushing brings it into the middle. Pops it high, Marinsick, and that one by Conklin. That one definitely looked like the old PE punch shot. Ask me sometime about playing PE ball at Plymouth sometimes. 24-13, Cyclones looking to end this one here as it comes across, popped up in the middle, tipped through, and they're going to whistle a net violation on the Cyclones, so it will go back over to West Prairie. Serve coming through, and that one long and out of bounds, and that ends it, as that will end it as the Cyclones win it here in 2, and going to usher us into our senior night festivities. Let's give you our thank our fine sponsors like JoJo's Gaming Parlor. They're offering the best gaming experience in McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink. See your friends at JoJo's. We are going to thank our very fine sponsors, step aside, and we're going to bring you the senior night activities coming up in just a little bit.